Welcome to the Battle Camp. Thank you for tuning in. Please show some support by liking and commenting. And most importantly, please can you subscribe if you enjoy my content. So this morning, scrolling through Twitter, lying in bed, and I noticed that there had been a leaked telephone conversation between Anthony Joshua and a random gentleman, I believe not to be a personal friend, perhaps, of Joshua, probably someone that provides some sort of service, because he said, "Yeah, the Audemars, I sent the Audemars," or I can't remember exactly what he said. But for the benefit of this video, I'm gonna play the audio of this leaked conversation now.
How are you? You well?
Yeah, good man, good. Who's it going to be?
This is a big question. Do you know what? I think we're going to have to go to the States because I've done everything I can and everyone don't want to fight, man.
We need a good... I'm up for the States. I've got to pass up the old woman.
Lucky you, innit?
Yeah. Anthony, everything went back to Audemars, my friend.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
Yeah? All right, man. Good luck with everything, yeah?
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
June. I think it's about June time, so...
Yeah, so what? Not happening April now?
I doubt... the only thing I can think is if they're trying to make me, stop training and then 2 weeks later they'll say, yeah, we want to fight, and then I'm 2 weeks out of preparation.
Yeah.
And they might try and catch me dry. Other than that, in my mind, I'm going to the States.
That'd be a buzz, that.
It'd be good, though.
Yeah. I've done it. I've done the States before I went to see Joe Calzaghe.
So, as you've heard in that conversation, basically Anthony Joshua said that the most likely situation for him and his next fight will be Big Baby in the States in June. So Eddie Hearn was talking to the media both in the States and over here in the UK this week, and he kind of made it seem like the fight that they want, Joshua and Hearn, they want Dillian Whyte, and if it is Dillian Whyte, it won't be April 13th, it will most likely be May, June time. So what Eddie Hearn was saying in terms of what Joshua and Eddie Hearn want for the next fight is different to what Anthony Joshua said during this telephone conversation is the most likely outcome, if that makes sense. So I don't really know what to make of this conversation. So I've just seen on Twitter again, Tony Bellew had a bit of a rant about the situation, saying it's disgusting that they were recording the conversation and it was a private conversation, and the low lifes for putting it out. I'm paraphrasing, and he might not have used any of the words that I've just said, but I will put a screenshot up of his tweet so you can see it for yourself. Me personally, I'm not so sure this was a quote-unquote leaked conversation. I don't know. So there's two ways of looking at it. The first way, and the way that Tony Bellew sees it, is this guy was recording a private conversation he was having with Anthony Joshua. So he had the phone tapped. What you gonna do? Who remembers that song? The Firm, Nas. Anyway, so he was recording the conversation, and so if this was an actual leaked conversation, so what he's done is he's recorded it. He's probably sent it to his mates in a group chat, who have then forwarded it on, and it's got into the hands of these media outlets for boxing. So yeah, so that's one way of looking at it. The other way is Joshua, etc., have strategically leaked this conversation. Maybe it's a way of getting a feel for how people feel about about Joshua fighting in the States, to gauge public opinion, to see whether people from the UK will be tweeting back saying, "Oh shit, yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm definitely flying out. I'm definitely going to go out and watch that," or whether people in the UK are responding to the news that he's fighting Big Baby Miller by saying, Ah, for fuck's sake, I ain't interested in that. I can't be arsed. He needs to fight someone proper. Does that make sense? Maybe it's an attempt to gauge public opinion. Maybe it is a leak conversation. I personally, I don't know if I believe it's a leak conversation. I can see it being, it's logical for it to be a leak conversation. But if you're the guy that's on the other end of the phone, and it sounds like they did business together when you was talking about the Audemars, the watches, so there's a lot of money involved in that. I may have just totally misunderstood what the fuck he was on about, because all I heard him say was Audemars, and I know that's an expensive brand for watches, timepieces, wristwatches. You know, you strap those bitches on your arm, and they're fucking worth like thousands of pounds. But anyway, if you're kind of involved in that kind of business with Anthony Joshua, you know he's got the potential to spend a lot of money with you. Why would you jeopardize that by leaking a conversation that you've had, or exposing a conversation that you've had with him, a private conversation you've had with him, just for, as the kids call it these days, clout, social media clout? But did he directly leak it on social media, or did he just share it with some people that he thought he could trust, who have then leaked it themselves? Does that make sense? Obviously, again, I always say this, we don't know all the facts, we don't know all the details behind this, so I'm just speculating at the moment. I'm just kind of trying to draw conclusions against all the different potential eventualities, like what actually happened and what the result of that action is, if that makes sense. As I said previously, I personally, I don't know, I don't know whether this, I don't know this guy, I don't know who he is, he might be a thick cunt. But personally, if I'm doing business with Anthony Joshua and he spent money with me in the past, and it's very likely he's going to spend money with me again in the future, I'd do everything in my power not to jeopardize that. And leaking a private conversation is definitely not in my best interest if I'm, you know, working with, or if I'm doing business with Joshua. Who knows, man? Who knows what's going on? Things are getting quite interesting at the moment. Yeah, so things are getting. Oh, and also I wanted to touch on this, and I don't. I was gonna make a separate video, but I don't think it's like a big enough of a deal for me to make a separate video. So I'll just mention it briefly here. One of the things that Eddie Hearn said in an interview earlier this week, and I'd been thinking this, and but I hadn't said it on a video, because they're two separate, I suppose, situations. But one of the things that Eddie Hearn brought up was when he was discussing Tyson Fury, and the fact that he'd been going back and forth with Tyson Fury about the fight, and initially Fury asked for a set fee, and then he's basically saying, no, actually, let me go back on that. So when he started discussing the fight with Tyson Fury, potentially fighting Joshua in April, Tyson Fury said that he wanted a flat fee. He wasn't interested in a percentage. Since then, Ben Davison has had an interview where he said that Team Joshua needs to be realistic, and Dillian White, Fury, and Deontay Wilder, they all deserve a 50-50 purse split. And he gave his reasoning behind coming to that conclusion, which I won't get into because I discussed it in a previous previous video. I think I spoke about it in one of my videos about Dillian White. Anyway, one of the things that Eddie Hearn said, which was quite interesting, and it kind of made me giggle a little bit, is that, well, Tyson Fury, apparently, in his last fight against Deontay Wilder, he donated all of that money that he made in that fight to charity. So now all of a sudden, why is he so fixated on earning a set amount against Joshua? I thought it wasn't about the money. I thought it was just about achieving greatness again, which is kind of the message that Tyson Fury was giving out in the build up to the fight against Wilder. Now all of a sudden it's all about the money. Now you can't knock a man for wanting to make as much money as he can from a situation that he's in. At the end of the day, he's a boxer, yes, but he's a prize fighter. He fights to make money. So just because he quote unquote donated all the money he made from the Wilder fight to charity, that doesn't mean that he should do that for the rest of his life. So maybe because he did that, he wants to maximize his potential income against a fight. Um, he wants to maximize the potential income in a fight against Joshua. Me personally, I don't believe he donated all 8 million or whatever the fuck he made against Wilder. I think it was just something that he said off the cuff, and I don't think anyone's checked him on it to see whether he actually has. And who the fuck are we to like demand that of him? Like, he went through all of that, lost all of that weight, and put himself in such a tough situation fighting Wilder in the States after having those two comeback fights against nobodies, and he performed so well. He earned that money. Just who are we to say, oh no, you need to give that to charity now? But at the same time, it does leave a little bit of a funny taste in your mouth when he personally said it himself, that I'm going to donate every single penny that I've earned from this fight to charity. Fuck knows if he's done it, and if he hasn't, we can't judge him, because I wouldn't give all of it to charity. I don't know how much I donate to charity. I don't really donate to charity now, if I'm honest, so who am I to say anything? I'm sure he's done a lot more than I have. But yeah, it's just, don't say it if you're not going to do it, sort of situation. And also how that plays into the negotiations with a potential fight with Joshua. So this little piece of the video has literally got nothing to do with the Anthony Joshua supposedly leaked conversation. But I just wanted to mention it briefly because, like I said, I was going to do a separate video, but it would have literally been like a 2-minute video, and it's not worth the fucking hassle editing it and all that bollocks just to get a 2-minute video out there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think this is an actual leaked conversation? Do you think it's staged? Not necessarily staged, but do you think it was leaked by Joshua's side? It could be that Joshua actually put it out there, and the guy on the other end of the phone didn't even know he was being recorded. Does that make sense? Because actually, if you actually listen to it, what happens is the guy asked Joshua who he's fighting next, and Joshua said it looks like it's Big Baby Miller in the States, and then the guy goes, oh yeah, Odemar ready, and then Joshua's the one that brings it up again, and he says he's the one who touches on the subject again. So who knows, like, it wasn't like the guy on the other end of the phone was like trying to pry this information from him. He only started talking about it again once Joshua brought it up. Go back and listen to it. It's like the guy asked a question, which is a standard question anyone would ask Joshua if they've got the opportunity to talk to him on the phone. And then Joshua answers the question, and then the guy changes the subject and talks about the Odemars, and then Joshua brings it up again. So it could be that Joshua's leaked it, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but fuck me. It's now February, February the 1st, is it? And still no opponent, still no announcement. It's a bit of a fucking murky situation, really. I just want these fights to be announced. I just want Joshua to be announced that he's fighting Big Baby. I want Tyson Fury and Wilder to be announced, and I want Deontay Wilder's next opponent to be announced. And they're talking about Povetkin and potentially Luis Ortiz and people like that. So all of these 4 guys are the 4 kind of, for me, the top guys in the division. And once we know when they're fighting and who they're fighting against, we can then start mapping out, all right, so if, this guy wins and this guy wins and this guy wins, we can then start to see towards the end of the year if there's a potential opportunity for us to get a undisputed title fight between the winner of Wilder and Fury, and who, Joshua, you'd assume he'd beat Big Baby Miller, although that's not a foregone conclusion. Anyway, I'm going on now. I'm talking about loads of different things, and this whole video was just meant to be about this leak conversation. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the actual conversation, if it's leaked, if it's if it's been staged, what's going on. And also feel free to comment if there's anything in particular that you want me to discuss. Don't say to me, I've had people say to me, oh, can you discuss how Eddie Hearn is ruining boxing and stuff like that? And it's like, if I don't have that opinion, I can't make a video about it. I'm not just going to discuss how I believe something when I don't believe it. So I'm happy if there's a question, what do you think about this? then I'm more than happy to make a video about it. And please subscribe and share this with your mates, man. The more it gets shared, the more I'm likely to get views and subscribers, etc. I hate fucking saying this, man, because it's a bit like, if you're going to share it, you're going to share it. You don't need me to ask you. So no, I'm not going to chop it out. Who am I kidding? But anyway, thank you. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you next time.